All right, everybody, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready. What are we exploring today?
Well, today we're gonna be taking a look at something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some source material on the topic of mind-altering substances,
Okay.
and this is not your typical drugs are bad type of content.
Right.
Yeah, this is coming from a different angle, a different perspective.
Interesting. Where is this coming from?
Well, this is a transcript that we've got from a YouTube video. The video is called "Getting Higher," hashtag Divine Fusion, hashtag Dreek, Eurotag Healing.
Okay.
And it's posted on a channel called Divine Fusion 1011 SAC.
All right. So kind of a new age spiritual type of approach, it sounds like.
Exactly. And the video, it kind of flips the script. It's exploring these substances as, get this, potential tools for personal growth
Mm.
and healing.
Wow.
Yeah, not exactly what you think of when you think about, the typical drug awareness campaign.
Yeah, definitely different. That's pretty rare to hear that kind of perspective.
Yeah, so the video creator jumps right in, talks about these controversial perceptions,
Right.
and just acknowledges that there is this, clash that happens when you've got, kind of the societal norms, and then you've got these alternative uses like holistic healing.
So something that is maybe seen as negative in one context
Right.
can be positive in a different context.
Exactly. It really makes you think.
It does.
Like, can these things that we maybe have been taught to think about a certain way, can they actually be catalysts for positive change?
Like, can they help us grow in ways that maybe we wouldn't have thought of before?
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
And speaking of catalysts, the creator talks about this idea of the eternal cycle.
Okay.
What do you think that means in relation to personal growth? Could these substances somehow like mirror or influence that cycle?
That's a good question. It makes me think about the fact that personal growth, is not just a straight line. It's like this constant cycle
Oh,
of
yeah.
experiencing things, having challenges, and then kind of integrating what we've learned.
Yeah. Integrating into our lives.
Yeah, and maybe these substances, in a way, can accelerate certain parts of that process.
Oh, interesting.
Like, they can change the way we see things,
Yeah.
right? And that might allow us to break free from those thought patterns that we get stuck in and see the world from a new perspective.
Yeah, I like that. It's kind of like hitting fast forward on the growth cycle in a way.
Maybe, yeah.
But, the video also points out something really important. It says that it's really the individual's interpretation of the experience that shapes the impact.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, have you ever been through something difficult, but it was the way that you thought about it, the way that you framed it in your mind that actually helped you grow from it?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about what happens to us, but it's how we make sense of it, how we learn from it.
So true.
This video calls those substances, the mind-altering substances, catalysts for change,
Okay.
but not that they like cause the change directly, but that they kind of create the right conditions for it to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So they're not the answer,
Right.
but they can be a tool.
Yeah, like a tool in your toolbox.
Yeah, like that extra push to, finally confront a fear or shift your perspective on something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so there's this part in the video that really got me thinking. It talks about knowing oneself
Okay.
beyond the limits of one's own ego.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. So what does that actually mean in like practical terms?
Yeah, that's a big question. Well, when we talk about the ego, it's like that voice in our head that's always, judging us,
Yeah.
comparing us to others.
Right, that inner critic.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always trying to keep us small, to limit us.
Keep us in our comfort zone.
Yeah, and it's usually based on, our past experiences and all those beliefs that we've picked up
Mm.
about who we are and what we can do.
Hmm.
But these substances, they can shake things up a bit, right? They can disrupt our normal thought patterns.
Yeah.
And that can allow us to maybe step outside of those limitations, and experience something bigger than ourselves.
So it's like quieting that inner critic
Yes.
and seeing yourself without all those boundaries.
Exactly. Like, who are you beyond all of that?
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
But the creator is also really clear that choice is still important. They say one may indulge, one may learn and choose discipline.
Right.
So it's not about just letting go of all control, but about using these experiences to help you grow.
Yeah, like a springboard for something new.
Yeah, and that idea of choice, it's not just about substances.
Of
right?
course not.
It's in every part of life.
Yeah, I mean, we can choose to focus on negativity to get stuck in our problems,
Right.
or we can choose to learn from them, to grow from them.
Yeah, and this idea of choice, it really ties into another point that the creator makes. They talk about getting high. is to raise one's own vibration.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's a great phrase. What do you think that could mean, metaphorically speaking?
Well, to me, it speaks to this idea of, reaching a higher level of awareness, maybe even of consciousness and of empathy too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about those times when you feel really connected to yourself and to the world around you.
Yeah.
It's like tapping into that potential, that energy.
So it's not just about the physical act of getting high, but about expanding your understanding of yourself and the world around you.
It's exactly.
Now, before we wrap up, I think it's really, really important to say that we are absolutely not endorsing drug use.
Absolutely not. That's not what this is about.
What we're endorsing is the value of exploring different perspectives,
Yes.
even those that might be controversial or that challenge the way we normally think.
This deep dive is all about learning, about expanding our understanding, and
Exactly.
maybe questioning some of those assumptions that we've been holding on to.
Precisely. So today we dove into this really unique perspective on mind-altering substances.
And how they could be, tools for self-discovery, for personal growth, and not just about escaping reality.
And as we go about our day, I think it's a good question for all of us to ask ourselves. If these substances can act as catalysts for growth, what other catalysts might we be overlooking in our everyday lives?
Maybe it's that challenging project at work that we've been putting off.
Or a difficult conversation that we need to have?
Yeah. Sometimes those things that make us uncomfortable can actually be the things that help us evolve the most.
So true. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We'll see you next time.